Russia, till this very day, has a nuclear arsenal that can destroy the entire world. Mankind has already felt its catastrophic effect.
Принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
From the latest nuclear weapon ever built by the Soviet Union to the devastating catastrophe of Chernobyl and its long-lasting consequences, these are the terrifying discoveries in Russia's nuclear wastes. Abandoned Soviet nuclear submarine reactors threaten the Arctic. Discarded submarine nuclear reactors lie deteriorating on the ocean floor in the icy waters north of Russia, some still fully fueled. For decades, the Soviet Union used the Kara Sea as their dumping grounds for nuclear waste. The underwater nuclear junkyard includes at least 14 unwanted reactors and an entire crippled submarine that the Soviets deemed proper decommissioning too dangerous and expensive. This negligence now haunts Russia, as a rotting submarine reactor fed by an endless supply of ocean water might re-achieve criticality, belching out a boiling cloud of radioactivity that could infect local seafood populations, spoil bountiful fishing grounds, and contaminate a local oil exploration frontier. News outlets have raised concerns of a nuclear chain reaction and an environmental disaster waiting to happen. Nearly everyone agrees that the Kara is on the verge of an uncontrolled nuclear event, but retrieving a string of long-lost nuclear time bombs is proving to be a daunting challenge. Nuclear submarines have a short lifespan, considering their sheer expense and complexity. After roughly 20 to 30 years, degradation coupled with leaps in technology render old nuclear subs obsolete. The Soviet Union and Russia built the world's largest nuclear-powered navy in the second half of the 20th century, crafting more atom-powered subs than all other nations combined. At its military height in the mid-1990s, Russia boasted 245 nuclear-powered subs, 180 of which were equipped with dual reactors, and 91 of which sailed with a dozen or more long-range ballistic missiles tipped with nuclear warheads. A majority of the Soviets' nuclear submarine classes operated from the Arctic-based Northern Fleet. While the Soviet Union's discarded nuclear reactors continued to threaten the environment, Russia continues to make new strides in nuclear technology. The country has developed a nuclear-powered missile that can fly independently, enabling it to travel around the world at high speeds, change direction, and dodge interceptor missiles. While Russia claims the missile is safe, the prospect of a nuclear-powered missile, combined with Russia's environmental track record, should give pause to the international community. Russia's history with nuclear technology has been both impressive and worrisome. While the country has achieved great strides in the field of nuclear submarines and missile development, its lack of responsibility in disposing of nuclear waste has created an environmental crisis in the Arctic that could have catastrophic consequences. The world should be wary of the development of nuclear-powered missiles in Russia, given the country's environmental track record. The legacy of the Tsar Bomber, Russia's largest ever nuclear test. Russia's nuclear program has been a source of concern for the international community for decades. In 1961, the Soviet Union detonated the Tsar Bomber, the largest nuclear weapon ever built, with a yield of 50 megatons of TNT. While the Tsar Bomber was never used in warfare, the dangers of nuclear weapons are made clear by the test. The development of the Tsar Bomber was driven by political and military motivations. Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev wanted to show the United States what the USSR was capable of, and he was willing to risk the lives of his citizens to achieve that goal. The scientists who worked on the project had to build the bomb quickly and without much testing, which made the process even more dangerous. The Tsar Bomber was an extremely conservative design, one that pushed no technical envelopes except for its size. The Soviet scientists who built the bomb used clustering and staging to achieve a yield of 100 megatons, ganging together smaller H-bombs and mating them to clusters of thermonuclear fuel capsules. The resulting weapon was enormous, nearly 27 tons in mass, and had to be transported by a specifically modified Tupolev Tu-95N Bear A bomber. The bomb was halfway inside the plane like a giant engorged remora, and had to be slowed down during its fall with an imperial-sized parachute made from most of the USSR's nylon output for 1961. On the 30th of October 1961, the Tu-95N and an airborne lab flew towards Novaya Zemlya, an icebound island in the Arctic Ocean where the bomb was detonated. The explosion was so large that it broke windows over 500 miles away, and the shockwave was felt around the world. The mushroom cloud rose 40 miles in the air, and the fireball was visible for hundreds of miles. The Tsar Bomber's impact was felt for years, with the fallout affecting the health of people who lived near the test site. A looming threat and the risk of another Chernobyl. Russia's nuclear industry has a long and troubled history, with disasters like Chernobyl and Fukushima still in our collective memories. Unfortunately, the risks and danger of nuclear energy continue to haunt us, and recent reports of terrifying discoveries in Russia's nuclear wastes have sparked renewed concerns. Chernobyl, a nuclear plant located in Ukraine, exploded in 1968, sending radioactive particles into the atmosphere and causing one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. The disaster released large amounts of radioactive material, contaminating the area around the plant and causing health problems for the people who live there. The impact of the disaster was felt not only in the Ukraine, but also in neighboring countries, including Russia. The explosion took place during the time of the Soviet Union, and the government in Moscow was responsible for the construction of the power plant. It was later uncovered during an investigation of the disaster that there were numerous design flaws. One such flaw was the control rods. They were made from boron carbide, which slowed down the nuclear reactor when inserted. However, the control rods had graphite tips, which caused a temporary increase in the nuclear reaction before slowing it down. This effect, known as the positive Scram effect, essentially turned Reactor 4 into an unstable nuclear bomb, which led to the catastrophic explosion.
От Совета министров СССР. На Чернобыльской атомной электростанции произошла авария. Поврежден один из атомных реакторов.
Today, the aftermath of the Chernobyl legacy continues to be felt. In particular, the disaster has left a legacy of nuclear waste that remains a serious threat to public health and safety. Some of this waste has been buried in the ground, while other waste has been stored in various facilities across Russia. Unfortunately, recent reports suggest that some of these facilities may not be as safe as they should be. For example, in 2017, a Russian journalist investigating the disposal of nuclear waste near the town of Novaya Zemlya reported that the site was in a state of disrepair and that nuclear waste was leaking into the environment. The journalist claimed that the situation was so bad that it could lead to a new disaster. These revelations have sparked concern among environmentalists and scientists who worry that Russia's nuclear waste could pose a threat not only to Russia, but also the rest of the world. Some experts have even suggested that the situation is so serious that it could lead to a new Chernobyl. Despite these concerns, the Russian government has been slow to take action. President Vladimir Putin has long championed nuclear energy as a key component of Russia's economy, and his government has been accused of downplaying the risks and dangers associated with nuclear waste. Instead, the government has focused on building new nuclear power plants and expanding Russia's nuclear energy sector. Let us know what you think about these terrifying discoveries in Russia's nuclear wastes, and subscribe for more startling content from us. See you in the next video.